compulsory or not. I think it should. Stefan in Enfield. Hello, Stefan.
Hi, Sheila.
Hi there. His legacy, how do you see it?
So basically, his legacy, it was the first time I voted, and I voted for David Cameron. And bear in mind that he became party leader when I was 8 years old. I've only known David Cameron, and I must say, he did teach me a lot of things. He taught me how to speak. He taught me how to campaign when I went out on the streets, when I went and campaigned for my local MP, and I always used to preach his word because I thought he was definitely bang in the middle of the road, and he certainly appealed to people on both sides of the spectrum. And what I fear now is that the party is definitely going to move more to the right, and we're certainly going to not appeal to people in the centre and to the left. And I definitely do think if we call a general election right now, I think we will struggle. But, David Cameron was a great PM. Okay, not everybody is fond of him, as the previous listeners just said, but he did do some good things, and he certainly did appeal to a lot of people.
So you think if there were an early general election in, say, October, November, that Labour would be equipped to be a genuine opposition to the Conservatives at this stage?
Not that they would be equipped, but definitely that it would be a punishment for the Tories for actually taking us out of Europe. I mean, we will now be remembered as a party that led the UK out of the UK, or possibly they led to the breakup of the United Kingdom.
But bear in mind, more people voted to remain in Europe. Sorry, to leave Europe than to remain.
Bear in mind, more people voted to leave, but let's take into account also the UKIP vote. That was 4 million voters as well. And I definitely do see the country moving, more to the right, but also at the same time, what you've got to bear in mind is that now that David Cameron has left, that the party will possibly move to the right and lose less of an appeal to people from the centre. So I don't think we are as well equipped without David Cameron now to go and win elections.
It's interesting that both on my Twitter feed and the texts and tweets coming in and the calls so far, that the main positive is the gay marriage policy that people are coming up with. What other than that, Stefan? You said you think he was a good sort of centre ground politician.
Definitely.
Any other specific policies that appeal to you?
Education reform, social reform. The role he played on an international level. I personally also believe he was. Theresa May came out today, for example, and said, no, not today, sorry, in the past, where she said the nasty party. I think David Cameron changed that. He made it more appealing, and definitely he appealed to young voters like me, and he got me way before I was even allowed to vote. And let me tell you something else. He talks about the economy, getting things back on track, one nation conservatism. This is what really appealed to the country, and I fear now under May that she hasn't really got a mandate. I mean, okay, it's a fresh mandate and whatnot, but really, does she have a mandate?
What about the welfare cuts, particularly to disabled people, to cuts in social care have, according to the people who work in social care and work in the NHS, left the whole system of both hospital care and social care in crisis?
Well, look, I wouldn't exactly call it a crisis. I mean, we're always looking for...
Why wouldn't you call it a crisis? The people on the front line of it are calling it a crisis.
I would myself call it efficiency. I mean, David Cameron came in at a time when the economy was completely broke. I mean, he did try and fix it as much as he could. I mean, okay, we're never gone into a surplus. But as for social reform, I mean, it has always been a struggle. And I think any government that takes it over, they will also struggle. But David Cameron made well of what he had and the resources and the situation that he was in. But what can you do? But on other places such as education, I think he's done a good job. On international development, he's kept to his target. But in regards to the NHS, I do see your point. All
right, Stefan, thank you. Stefan in Enfield. Talking about those cuts in the NHS and in social... Well, not the NHS directly, but in social care, disability benefits being efficiencies, according to Stefan. It was interesting